Hey guys, welcome out to the shop. Today we're going to be making a chisel rack out of some poplar. We're going to be cutting both sides at 11 inches. Now because I want this chisel rack to have multiple different sized chisels on it, I'm going to make it with 3 different sections, and then on the back side I'm also going to have a French cleat part that I'm going to be able to hang up over here on my wall. Now that we've gotten our side cut out, we want to make the step portion of where your chisels are all going to be. Now for that, it's very simple. You just take whatever chisels you want. Here's my little chisels. These will be in the front. My regular size chisels will be right here in the middle. My bigger, longer chisels will be on the top. And then you can take a scrap piece of whatever material you're using, put it on the back, and that's how you get where your French cleat is going to be. Now after getting it cut out, it might look just like kind of like a step of stairs. So I wanted to add a little bit of offset here on the bottom to break up the flat pattern. So I ended up adding a little arch in here. The way that I added the arch, the way I did the arch was I took an 1.5 inches off this right side and an 1.5 inches off of this side as well. Then I used this little French curve right here, and I put it on the end points and then just drew my curve. Now I'll take it back to the bandsaw. The width of my chisel rack is going to be based on only one thing. I wanted this to be portable, be able to hang on the wall. If I needed to use it, I could bring it back over to the bench and set it down on the bench top. So the way I'm going to get my width is by the width of my bench top. So the way I'm going to get my width is by how deep the top of my bench top is. 17 inches. Now as you can see, I've gotten all my steps in, and now I have to make this back piece right here for the French cleat. So what I'm doing is just using the scrap from this 3/4 inch piece to save on the waist. I have just marked a line. It's the same width as this. It doesn't really matter what the width is. I'm going to take it over to the bandsaw and cut a 45-degree angle on it. And I'm going to be using this piece as the back because it has the most color and I want that showing the most. Now that we got our French cleat system done, we're going to move on to making the base of it a little bit more stable. The way I'm going to be doing it is by taking one of these little 1/4 inch pieces and putting it across the bottom. I'll make a little cutout right here, and then I'll tack it in on the back side. To get the holes for your chisels, it all depends on what kind of chisels you are going to be placing in there. I've got all of these ones that I'm going to be putting on the bottom rack, and then I've got these ones that I'm going to be putting on the middle area. So I've got to make sure that I leave enough room for the width of this blade, where these ones I can fit all fairly close. And then I've got some of these taller mortising chisels where these don't take up a lot of room either. So it all just depends on what type of chisel you have. So I'm going to go ahead, get all mine marked, laid out, and then take it over here and drill all the holes. Okay, so after getting all the holes and everything cut, test fitted, making some minor adjustments, I had to make the entrance hole of this mortising chisel and this chisel right here a little bit wider because the iron or the cutting blade was a little bit thicker at where the handle was. So now it is time for the assembly. Alright guys, well that's it. Here it is, mounted with the French cleat system. I have my little carving chisels up in the front, my regular normal size 1 inch and under bevel chisels right here in the middle, and then all my bigger chisels are on the top. This is really good. It's a great place. I never come over here and really bump up into this area because of the wall hung cabinet, and this kind of sets as storage for my sharpening stones right now. But this is fantastic because if I need to use a bunch of chisels, or say I do start using the carving chisels, I can just take this, pick it up, bring it out, set it on my bench top, and I have everything right here ready to go. If I need to go somewhere, I can just pick it up and go with it. When I'm done with this, instead of having chisels left all over my bench, I can just take it, slide it back on the French cleat, and it's there. It's done. And it's put away. So the only thing that I changed while I was doing the assembly was changing the middle rack from a 1/4 inch piece of wood to a 3/4 inch piece of wood, and that served for two purposes. One, for the strength, and two, to keep these chisels a little bit higher off of the bench top. When I had it sitting down, it was really low, and like this one right here was almost hitting the bench top, so I didn't want that. I used boiled linseed oil for the finish, cut all the dowels off. This is just held together with dowels and glue, which is plenty strong enough for something like this. So here is a closer look at the chisel rack. I really like how I've included the little arch right here in the bottom. It breaks up the base of the legs. Everything works really well. I'm glad I did the 1/4 inch for the front because these are really lightweight. They don't really hold anything. So that's plenty strong for that. And I'm glad I stepped these two up to the 3/4 inch. And the back is just held together with the dowels on the side. And then I've got this one piece right here for just the strength of the bottom of the legs so they don't get spread out back and forth. But I really like the poplar, and I'm happy with how the color turned out with the boiled linseed oil. I did not put any on the inside of the holes right now. I might go back and do that later. It's not really that big of a deal. But there it is. That is the finished product. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Well, I built this chisel rack. I think it turned out excellent. I really like the size. And like I said, if I need to, I can put it like this. And it fits exactly on my bench top sideways. So if I need it over in this corner, it works great right there. So thank you for joining me today on this build. If you guys enjoyed it and really liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And please share it around on all your favorite social media. And if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more woodworking videos. Like I said, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.